Good morning and welcome to Better Thyself segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. We have always said that you should respect yourself, you should have self-esteem, and only then you can have esteem and respect from others. If you do not respect yourself, if you do not have confidence in yourself, how do you expect others to have respect for you? And I've seen people who have struggled with persistent low self-esteem. They go and study on the internet, study on the self-help books, and are told to love yourself. But all those are useless platitudes. More often than not, they are impractical ideas which have no relevance. What you need is certain tangible strategies that you can use in everyday life to boost your self-esteem. And today, I'm going to talk about those strategies, those techniques, which you, if you adopt, you can have a respectable self-esteem that will enable you to love yourself, have compassion yourself, and in return make others respect you. First is dispute your negative thoughts. Negative thoughts are always very convincing. And I've seen many terrible things about myself, I know it. And every time you think or say something negative about yourself, immediately you should dispute by reminding yourself something you did well and succeeded in. So if a negative idea comes to you, remember what you have achieved at other times. So replace self-criticism with self-compassion. The moment you do it, you are beginning to and reinforce your self-esteem. As a matter of fact, you shouldn't believe everything you think about yourself. It's human nature. It's very easy to fall into a pattern in which people, situations, or circumstances get misinterpreted. And when they get misinterpreted, that's a problem. If your thoughts, at least some of them, tend to be critical, don't be judgmental because they are not appropriate. And it's easy to fall into the pattern in which people, situations, circumstances get interpreted. So if your thought pattern tends to be judgmental, it could lead you to inaccurate perspectives. So what do? Re-evaluate them. And then stop self-criticism. As I said, replace your negative thoughts with your achievement. That's the first thing to do. But that's not enough. You need to practice unconditional self-acceptance. You are aware that self-acceptance is a precondition of self-esteem. If you don't accept yourself, how can you respect yourself? I would say that self-esteem is similar to rating yourself on your success. If you have low self-esteem, the rating can be based on what you perceive as your failings. And they may not be really failings. When you base your confidence on your stuff, you need something to go well with your confidence, to go up. But sometimes things can go wrong. At that time, you have to accept yourself, well, you tried. Otherwise, your confidence will nosedive. What basically is what the psychologists say, rational emotive behavior therapy, REBT. Now, it's a form of cognitive behavior therapy, CBT, and it promotes unconditional self-acceptance. So why do the people go to the psychiatrist? Because they indulge in REBT. But then you don't have to pay hundreds of dollars for that. You can tell yourself that, okay, I did this thing wrong, but then I've been successful so many places. And I'm a human being. I can fail sometime, I can be successful another time. So this failure, ignore it. Every single human being on the planet is worthwhile. Fallible human beings, capable of both success and failure. So tell yourself that you are like other human beings, and that will enable you to regain the foothold in self-esteem. And then if you need an affirmation to repeat to yourself on the challenging days, or even on every day, let it be, say to yourself, I value myself as I am because I am I. I'm a human being on this planet. So once you base your confidence on this notion, you have worth, you are sufficient, but then what you have to do is, it's not a 1 second job. You have to keep in trying every day. Remind yourself every day. Thirdly, keep a compliment log. You see, our biggest problem is that we ignore the compliments we get. No, it's not. And whether you write it down or you keep it in your memory, that's up to you. But a log every day of positive things, compliments, praise that is said about you or your work. And when you might feel a little weird doing it, try it. If you receive the same compliment multiple times, keep a tally next to it, but keep this log going every day. I said keep it in your mind or keep it in your journal. Most people should do it in journal because your mind may not be able to tally up all the praise you get. And when you write it down, at the end of each week, review the log. Ask yourself these questions. What are my initial feelings when I read this log? On a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being nothing, 10 being a huge amount, how much do I believe that all of them are positive things, are true to me? So this analysis starts coming. Is it just people are saying it because they have an axe to grind? Or is there some truth in it? So while you are reviewing this log, go through the statements you have noted down and ask yourself which compliments you believe are true, which ones are possibly true, and which ones you do not believe. Some can be sheer flattery, ignore them. Others can be with a axe to grind, ignore them. But which are sincere, which are really true, and which you believe to be true, keep them. And that will enable you, the third thing, keep an achievement record. Yes, that log should convert into your achievement record. If writing a list of your accomplishments and the compliment you receive is not your thing, why not try keeping a record of your achievement yourself? So you have two records. One, what people talk about you. Other is what you think you have achieved. And this can be anything from finishing a work task to doing some live administration to make yourself successful. Maybe you prepare the lunch before the night and you think you're proud of it. It's an achievement. I was seeing a Hindi film, Sharma Ji Namkeen. I liked it. The guy is retired and he's an excellent chef. So what's wrong with that? What you've got to do is you have got to have faith in yourself. You have got to achieve. And then keeping a journal to keep track of different things you are experiencing ultimately will steer you back to positive aspect. You can also use a journal to write down a few things like you like about yourself. I like the shape of my eyebrows. I like the shape of my nose. When I'm smiling, my eyes are crinkly. So you will feel more comfortable. And what you like about yourself, you would find people also like the same thing about you. But that's not enough. The worst thing is when you start comparing yourself to the others. So avoid comparing yourself to the others. I know it's very hard to stop comparing yourself with others, especially if you spend a lot of time on the social media. If you are worried about the social media's impact on your self-esteem, the first thing you should do is stop self-comparison. And what I would say is that unfollow any social media account which makes you feel bad about yourself. You might have seen, don't hesitate unfriending anybody or chastising anybody who tries to be unduly critical, especially if the criticism is born out of malice, jealousy, or envy. So unfollow, unlike, unfriend, hide, block, mute. And do this to every single social media account you follow that makes you feel bad. Whether it's your friend from the school or from whichever famous writer, immaterial. This does not make you pity and jealous. What happens is when the people criticize, they have, as I said, mostly there is out of jealousy, is out of inferiority complex. So the best thing is stop that negative feeling from creeping in. Then remind yourself that life is not a competition. Everyone else on the planet is worthwhile. Let's be very clear. Even the people who criticize me. But then they are worthwhile in their own circle. I am in my own. And everybody is fallible. Maybe they are not jealous, maybe they are your associates, but still they can be wrong. So the success and failing are yours. Cherish them and depend on them. The only person you need to compare yourself is you. Compare what you were yesterday and what you are today. And another strategy. Treat yourself the way you would like to treat others. Imagine it. Especially your friends. You want to give a special attention to your friend, so give a special attention to yourself. You might have noticed a marked difference in the day you talk to your friend when they are having a tough time. While when you are talking to yourself mostly, you are very critical. It's very easy to treat yourself harshly or critically when things go wrong. And the internal critic cries, oh, you're stupid, you're an idiot. So, in your friendly circle, if somebody has done something wrong, would you call him stupid and idiot? No, you would not. So why shouldn't you treat yourself kindly? And that will boost your self-esteem. How you treat yourself has a huge impact on your mental well-being. A kind, compassionate approach to yourself will change the world. So learn to parent yourself with soothing, compassionate love. Give yourself and learn from all the decisions you make. Learning to the dream, the present. Be your own cheerleader, as I said. Be your own friend. Be your own, praise yourself. Be your own cheerleader. It has been you for a long time. And the next thing, most important, set boundaries. Do not let people trespass on your self-esteem. You see what happens when you have a low self-esteem that makes you want to please others. So don't be people's pleaser. People with low self-esteem will feel that they've got to say yes even when they don't want to. Learn to say no. The moment you start saying no, you are asserting your individuality. You are asserting your identity. And saying yes every time makes you feel overburdened, resentful, depressed. If you are not comfortable with something, learn to say no. Be assertive. Because that shows that you value yourself. And it should help you to settle your boundaries, clear boundaries. If you manage to improve your self-esteem by yourself, well done. If you can't, go for counseling. But let me tell you, Go for counseling, and rather than a trained psychiatrist, a psychologist, rather than these so-called life coaches. The proper psychiatrist can help you remove years of trauma and abuse that has eaten into your self-esteem. But the most important is yourself. Don't be unforgiving and unkind to yourself. Your inner voice should speak to way love, affection, compassion. So if you will have just one platitude, it is this: be kind to yourself. Treat yourself with compassion, respect, and pride. And believe me, you would find the best friend in yourself. And there cannot be a better friend than you are yourself. So why not be that? Why not be that? Look at yourself in the mirror. Think of all the positive achievements. Keep a log of what people have praised you. And assert yourself. Learn to say no. Be assertive. And believe me, you start respecting yourself. And when you start respecting yourself, other people will start respecting you too. It's a herd mentality. You start doing something and it would be exponential growth. So, adopt these strategies. These are 7 steps which I have told you. And believe me, once you do it, your self-esteem would be noticeable and you will become a real human being. And that's what you want. Thank you.